Welcome to the Ritz Raw review. I am your Intercontinental Predictions Champion, Ritz. I just finished the cluster that was Raw tonight. Last couple of nights, WWE really hasn't done a lot of things that have made sense. And I'm doing this straight off the cusp because I can't believe what I watched. To be fair, I did fast forward through a little bit of stuff because I watched it later. And for time purposes, I like the tag team bit. I didn't watch the match. I did, but I watched it at a faster pace. Let's start from the beginning and touch on some key points. Great opening segment. I think it made everybody look dominant like they're supposed to. I think having a fatal four-way match does keep everybody relevant as we go forward. I don't think that we're going to see Roman with the title just yet because they're talking about Roman Brock for WrestleMania. But that could change. Roman could win the title at Survivor Series from somebody because Brock may not walk out with the title. They need to bring that title back onto TV, make it relevant, and give us those big match feel, not big match feels, but give us those moments that we're looking for. Give us title fights every pay-per-view. We're going into the big times right now, and you need that leading up to Survivor Series, to Royal Rumble. You need that. You need someone that's going to be there and that can establish that title, because here we are 1 year later. That title really hasn't been on TV a whole lot for 2017. Going to Finn Balor and Elias Samson. I only watched it because I'm a Finn Balor fan. I've towards the end of his NXT thing, I really became a fan. I can't get behind what they're doing with this Elias Samson thing. It kind of comes out of nowhere. And at the same time, he's having issues with Bray, which I'm cool with, because it could potentially bring out the demon side of Finn Balor, which nobody has seen since last year's SummerSlam. And a lot of people, I think, are looking for that. But there's too much going on, and there's no real rhyme or reason to any of it. There's no rhyme or reason to the Elias Samson thing other than they had one match, like months ago. The Bray Wyatt thing, Bray's kind of alluded to him. Bray's kind of screwed with him a little bit, but that's not consistent. It was nice to see Bray on Raw, like actually in person. But again, he has like an Undertaker kind of mystique to him, but less of a care. Because like when the Undertaker used to do that kind of stuff, it meant something. You know, when the Undertaker didn't wrestle every week but did video packages, it meant something. Now with Bray, it's just an excuse for everybody to turn their cell phone lights on. So that's kind of how I feel with that. And that was like the first hour. I was okay with the opening segment, fine, whatever. But the Finn Balor Elias Samson match got like 2 or 3 commercial breaks, which was crazy, and it took up that whole hour, that whole first hour, which, if you're going to do a 3-hour show, give me content to fill the 3 hours that I'm going to care about. Don't give me content to just give me content. That's like us putting out a 15-minute video every day about what shirts we have. Nobody cares. And then you're in the second hour, and there's a couple backstage segments that really don't matter. A lot of that second hour doesn't do anything for me. There's the Nia Jax Emma match, and I feel like I'm forgetting something relatively important, but I don't really care. It was 1 minute and 20 seconds. And don't get me wrong, I love Nia. I love what they've done with Nia in the last year. I still don't like her ring attire. Let's not even discuss that. That's for another time. And I get you're trying to put Nia over as a dominant force, but to have her squash someone like Emma, who has been in the business for a long time, she has laid groundwork for not only herself, but for the entire division, like she alludes to. So she got a little mouthy on social media. If this was a punishment, burying somebody's not a punishment. It's just dumb, especially someone like this who, on the Raw roster behind Alicia Fox, is your veteran. Maybe Mickie James, but still, that's one of your veterans in the women's division who's supposed to help catapult these divas, these women, into that new era. I really do want more Emma. I think she would be a great champion in the future. And to put the sole focus, like she's been alluding to put the sole focus on Alexa, Bayley, Sasha, Nia, you have a whole other half of the division not doing anything. No Mickie, no Dana, no Emma. It's really depressing. Very, very depressing. To talk a little bit about the Seth Dean dynamic for the evening, Akira Tozawa comes out. I don't really care about that. That the whole cruiserweight division as a whole for me has gotten really stale. There's no... Neville needs to drop the belt. He's had it for, in my opinion, way too long, and they haven't done anything with it. They haven't done any kind of match that has made me say, oh my god, let's watch it. Tonight he just got wrecked by Daivari, who could be becoming that third component in this middle mesh. Props to Titus O'Neil for trying, at least, to make this relevant. I know what I forgot, and I just really screwed up snapping there, but I know what I forgot. The Enzo Cass bit. Fuck it. I don't normally curse in these, but I'm over it. I'm really, really over what could have been potentially one of the best feuds of the summer. Cass keeps going out there and beating Enzo like a rag doll, and I'm done with it. The promos, they're okay, they're nothing special, but to have Cass train wreck him every week and Enzo put up no offensive is just, I'm over it, I'm done. The Big Show element, it just goes to prove that Enzo needs somebody. He can't do it on his own. And if they put Enzo over at SummerSlam, which Jax and I were kind of talking a little bit today about it, I don't know. I really don't know how I'll feel. We go into the third hour, and the third hour has the latter half of the Bayley-Sasha match, because that kind of overlapped a little bit, the 2 hours, which was good. It was probably the match of the night. If you want to give a match of the night for Raw, it was really, really good. I take that back. It wasn't really, really good, but it was... it was just a solid match. It was very solid, very definitive of, yes, these two are friends, but the women's title means more to either one of them. I didn't like the finish, though. I didn't like it at all. To not see the Bayley to belly, and you doing it off of a frog splash, and your roll-up didn't really look like a roll-up. It looked like, alright, I'm going to flip you, and then I'm going to pin you. So, it was sloppy, but... And I don't know if I agree with Bayley taking the win to go up against Alexa for the title at SummerSlam, because Alexa's proven that Bayley can't get the job done. It should have been the right time for Sasha to come into play and everything like that. Now, that being said, they could turn Sasha heel shortly after Brooklyn and SummerSlam. But again, you take away from Emma, Mickie, Dana, things like that, and you keep it in that that little group of four. I don't know. I don't want to see it. You know, it's going to happen. We all know it's going to happen. I might as well just accept it. But I'm defiant. Sue me. What happened next that I think the club... Jax mentioned it because he watched it before I did. So he and I were kind of talking about some things. we think the club went face tonight. They were saying some very face things. They got the face pop against the Revival, who's naturally the heel, who they went over again with the Shatter Machine, which Hardy's come out and there's that momentary distraction. I guess the club thought that the Hardys were going to do something or whatever have you, but the Revival were able to capitalize and hit the Shatter Machine on Luke Gallows. No, I'm sorry, Carl Anderson, and wrap it all up. Hardy's attack afterwards, and you can kind of see a number. I'll call it a number one contender feud building between those three teams for Cesaro and Sheamus' titles, which we could see again a fatal 4-way tag team match like we did at WrestleMania, which I don't know if I'd be upset at. I think the Revival is the right fit for that group, because it's really the same group that you had at WrestleMania, minus Enzo and Cass, add in the Revival. I think that would be a great showing by all 8 people, but only time will tell with the tag team division, because we did see no Cesaro and Sheamus competing tonight. I think that's 2 weeks in a row they haven't competed. I don't remember much of last week. Then you go into the 2-on-3 handicap match. Again, solid match. Very solid match. It was nice to see. And, damn it, Enzo. It was nice to see Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose kind of get back to where they were. And the Miz Taraj is great. I still think Bo Dallas looks like a Duck Dynasty family reject. And Curtis Axel, it was something to take these guys and elevate them. They were getting kind of stale, and the Miz has that star power and that just natural talent to do that. And what better than a Miz Taraj? Putting Seth and Dean over, I think, is a smart move in this case, because Dean's going to continue his feud with The Miz for the IC title. But at the same time, I think now Seth's going to slowly get in that IC title picture, which could really elevate this belt. Also, it makes sense to put him in this kind of picture because he's on the cover of WWE 2K18. And then naturally, Dean leaves Seth hanging at the end when they go for the Believe in the Shield fist bump. It does kind of sound like, the last 13 minutes or so have just been me rambling and not really ripping it apart. It's hard for me to rip apart Raw because it is the flagship show and there's only so much I shouldn't even say that. No, hold on, scratch that. This one sucked, though. No mistake about it, it sucked. It was bad. And I think a lot of that stems from we're coming off of Battleground last night from SmackDown, which just left the entire wrestling world going, what? At least from what I've heard and read and watched in the different reviews, especially ours. But it was a weird night. I made the joke earlier, welcome to the WWE where the storylines are made up and logic doesn't matter. That was kind of how Raw felt for me tonight. It was all just kind of hodgepodge together and nothing made sense. You have SummerSlam coming in a few weeks. Buckle down, let's go, and put out some compelling stories to make SummerSlam, from the Raw perspective, the greatest party of the summer. It's what kicks off the Big 4 year, in my opinion, because there's such short time spans between the 4 shows that you can do some really great things with these superstars, with these storylines. One rumor that is coming out of some of the different wrestling sources that I want to address is the fact that they are talking about another superstar shakeup shortly following SummerSlam, which I wouldn't be upset at. If they're going to do one after every Big 4 pay-per-view, okay, you can tie, especially with Survivor Series, you can tie it into stipulations to matches, things like that. With the Royal Rumble, it's a great way to call people up who debuted in the Rumble. And again, Mania, call people up because Mania. Either way, that's it. That's it for the review tonight. I would have to give this Raw a solid 2. Just 2.5 out of 5. Just because there was nothing that captivated me, that I just kept going, oh my god, is this over? There were small high points. I think if you did the beginning in the middle, it would have really set a different tone for the night. Because I would have been a little bit more invested in the whole show as a product. Either way, once again, this is the Ritz Raw review with your Intercontinental Predictions Champion Ritz, and we will see you next week.